So there we were, coming up this beautiful winding road in the forest, just gorgeous, just 2 miles outside of the city of Julian, coming up to this beautiful location right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Artist Loft. Good Lord, what a gorgeous setting you have here. I'm with Nan and Chuck, and they are the innkeepers here at these wonderful little places. These cabins have their own name, and there's a reason for that.
Well, sort of, I think. Okay. This is the Artist Loft because the original building that was here that burned was called the Artist Loft because we were artists, so to speak, and we had a loft.
Unfortunately, there was a fire in 2003, and you had your dream, but then this fire, this amazing blaze, came and wiped this out up here, right?
It certainly did. It was the largest fire in California history. It took 3,000 homes. I think it took about 30% of the homes in Julian. Oof. Many people were unable to come back.
And you can see damage on the old trees. They're coming back pretty well.
Oh, it's nice and green here, yeah.
But we've lost lots of trees. When we came back from the fire, there was nothing except charred.
You came back and you rebuilt, and wow, this must be better than it was before. Is it or is it not?
It is better than it was before. We call it the gift of the fire.
So each cabin is unique.
Yes.
So tell me what is unique about Artist Loft.
It's unique in that it's a mortise and tenon wood peg constructed building, all mortise and tenon joints held by wood pegs with a few cheating bolts here and there to make the county happy. And we were part of the crew that assembled it.
Big Cat Cabin is a fabulous 1929 cabin, probably designed by Richard Requa, who was one of the most famous architects in San Diego area at the time. We were able to purchase it from the original family, and you'll see it just is a real fantastic old cabin that you can't find anywhere else anymore.
Big Cat Cabin, all right. And that got its name because there was a big tabby cat.
It was because he loved that cabin and he wanted to be there, so we had to buy it.
The cabin at Strawberry Hill, you said you could actually fit that inside the living room here in the Artist Loft.
We call her our standard for cabin. She's absolutely perfect. She's just a little gem. Oh, okay. One room cabin.
One room, so you just come with your loved one, a little romantic getaway here.
Absolutely.
Perfect for that.
We can provide everything except the loved one. Okay.
Well, this is kind of a treat, a great get for SoCal Safari. We've landed the commander of the Sons of the American Legion. He's a little humble about it, but the commander of the Sons of the American Legion, Bill Fink. Thanks for joining us, Bill.
Well, hi, Eric. I am really glad to be here. I'm glad you're here, too. This is a great event. This is Apple Days.
Oh, my God. You guys have taken this to another level. This is crazy today.
Well, not me, but this is an event that the Chamber of Commerce puts on, and the Sons come out here. We do security for the event every year, and we're just real happy to be here. We got a big crowd from down the hill.
So this, Julian, goes back a ways. I was surprised by how far this dates back.
Yeah, and Julian really goes back to about the early 1870s. And there were people up here, but a fellow came from back east. He was a Confederate soldier from Georgia.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and Drew Bailey was here.
Drury is his full name?
Drury, yes. And he laid out the town. He named it after his cousin Mike Julian. They discovered gold, and Julian really became a very big town back in those days. After that, when the gold played out, it started to wane, but at one time, Julian was being considered for the seat of San Diego County.
Wow,
Yeah,
no
they were
kidding.
competing with San Diego City. Of course, San Diego won out, but people come up here and they're a little surprised that places like Julian exist. You know, the town still retains a lot of its architecture and ambiance of an earlier time. We've done away with the telephone poles and everything else, but other than that, you can get a real flavor for a turn-of-the-century town up here.
Guys, big smile, here we go. Ain't none but a hound dog, shaking my crying all the time. Ain't nothing but a hound dog, shake it up, guys, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and ain't no friend of mine. He said he was high class, that was his lie. Thank you. It's called a wedding ring. Much easier to get in than get out.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more
SoCal Safari.
Deja Vu.